Well, hi there. I'm going to show you how to do my cassava stitch. And the loom I'm using is a 36 peg loom. It's from one of the circle sets that you can get, 3/4 inch. And this one's from the Doris circle set. I think they have them on eBay right now. They're a pretty economical set, and I like them because they have nice little place on the top that stops your stitch from falling off, and the pegs seem to hold up really nice and have a quality that's like the Nifty Knitter was. Okay, and the yarn I'm using is a Hobby Lobby yarn. It's a chunky yarn, 100% acrylic, and it's from Hobby Lobby, and this color is called Saturn's Rings. So I love this chunky yarn in the color Saturn's Rings. And the loom hook I'm using is one I got from a company that's no longer making them. That was called We Have a Handle on This, and it's wood and it was painted. Okay, so let's get started now. This is a stitch video, so I'm not going to show you how to do a complete project, but what I'm going to do is give you tips so that you could go ahead and do a project. Okay, so this stitch doesn't curl. It has no curl to it, so you can use it on anything and it looks good on both sides, but it is curving a little bit to one side after I've done this many rows, which is about 15. So if you were going to do a flat panel, I would say maybe every 10 rows you would switch, which it's a 2-row stitch, so you would switch the rows and do them on the other side, the other direction, and you could just get across there very easily. When you do things like that, when you have a stitch that is leaning one way, you can fix it, and you look at how the stitch is. Like for example, right here, this is where I have owl eye border, and I did 2 rows of owl eye just for a border there. And then the stitch comes in. As you can see, the stitch, hopefully you can see it, the stitch here, it has more texture and it's coming higher than where I did the owl eye stitch. So because it's coming higher, you wouldn't want to do a row of owl eye or even probably a row of U-knit because it's going to go lower there. So if I went across, I'd probably do just a row of purl, which would bring it up higher and would probably blend in better. But if you just do that, switch directions, you can keep it straight. Or if you want to do a zigzag, you do it long enough, you'd get enough of a zig going one way and then change direction then and go the other way. So that's what you can do with stitches that lean. And the reason they lean is one of the stitches is a lot longer than the other one or looser, and it can just make it pull towards the tighter side. So that's what can happen. But the stitch is really, really beautiful, and it looks the same in the round. Really quite pretty. A lot of texture to it. And the other side looks really good too. And it has a lot of a really good textured look. Okay, and it's very stretchy. All right, so let's get going. So it's 2 rows, and it is just made up of 2 of my different stitches. Okay, so when I'm going this way, I'm doing, and I'll show you how I did the edges too. Oh, and for the cast on, I used a crochet chain cast on, and I have that on my channel. Okay, and when I finish the rows, I'll show you what I did with the sides. Okay, so here I am, and I'm about to do the first stitch here. So row 1, I'm going to do twisty stitch. So you go over in a U-knit and knit it off, and you come backwards in a U-knit, knit that off. You come from behind to the next stitch, knit it, come back around, knit it again, go over to the next one, knit it, come back around, knit it again. You can find Twisty Stitch on my channel if you'd like to see more videos with it. Okay, so you knit, come back over another U-wrap, knit again, knit it, come back over the other way and knit it. That's all there is to doing this stitch. It's pretty easy. I'll slow it down a little bit here. I'll come from behind, right when I'm finished, and in front of the next one to do the U-wrap, back over that same peg, so there's 2 stitches on each peg, and then from behind, back over the next one. There we go, and then I'm going to do an E-wrap over this last peg, and then I'm just going to slip the stitch and go into the next stitch, and that's giving me a chain cast that looks similar to this, but I needed something that was loose, and this is about right. If you can tell that it has the same kind of stretch as the stitch, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, so then when I'm coming this way, I'm going to do my double purl around stitch, which I sometimes just call purl around, and we're going to go over this peg by doing a purl. So we do a purl. So if you don't know how to do a purl, and you should know how to do a purl, okay, but if not, there's lots of videos, but I'm going to show you. You have your working yarn under the stitch, and you scoop up that loop, pull up the working yarn into a loop, and then you just put that loop you pulled up over the peg like that. Okay, and then I'm going to come back around and do exactly the same thing. Put that new stitch on. So it's like that. You do a purl, and you come back from behind and in front again to do another purl. You do a purl, and you come back around, do another purl, and then you do another purl, come back around and do another purl. And this gives you a lofty stitch, and with Twisty, which is also lofty, they're both like that. Okay, so we're going to go lofty by doing the purl, come back around, do another purl, and purl, come back around, do another purl, do a purl, come back around, do another purl, and that's row 2. And then we just do the E-wrap, that, and go back to do the twisty stitch. And if I was going to change rows, I would have done it already, but I'm going to do it now just to show you how you would change rows. So I'm just going to go over, and I'm going to do a purl because it's going to give me a purl bump, and I have the purl bumps, but Twisty actually comes up with texture too. So it's not going to leave anything low like here. It's going to sort of blend in, I'm thinking. So let's try it, and if it works, then you'll know how to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to purl my way back. Now another way you can keep this from happening is you can make it into a 3-row stitch instead of a 2-row stitch, and you repeat one of the stitches, but then you have to you might have to make other changes in it if you do it that way. And I do the last one here. And I'm going to do the E-wrap. Okay, so now we're going to do twisty this way. So when I'm going this direction with twisty, just like this, come over from behind and go in front, back the way you were, and then next one. So you wrap backwards, come from behind and in front of the next peg, and you wrap it backwards, come in front of the next one, and that's all there is to it. Pretty easy stitch. After I come back the other way, we'll look and we'll see if going across to change direction with a purl was the best choice of the stitch to use. Okay, and then we come this way and we do the double purl around. So I'm just going to purl it and come back around. There we go. Almost went up there. Purl it again. Purl it. Come back around. Purl it again. And try to keep my hands out of the way here. Purl. Tighten. Come back around. Purl it again. Okay, I'm just going to put you on pause while I go to the end, and then we'll have a look at it. Okay, so I did an extra row because I wanted to have enough work here that you could see where I did the purl, and it's pretty invisible. So that's a perfect stitch if you're going to change direction, and I would have done it, you know, a little bit sooner, but this is still going to straighten out. It's already straighter just doing those couple rows, and that'll just straighten it back out. So that's the easiest way to do it, is just change direction every once in a while. So you can see here that when it's loose, you have this kind of a look here, and this kind of a look here, and this kind of a look here, and you just can't really see that row of purl. It just blends right in. Okay, so there's how you do the stitch. It's pretty easy. I even showed you how to keep it straight when you have a stitch that's slant, so that'll help. When you're doing it in the round, of course, you don't have to worry about stitches that slant at all. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, we should take a look too about adding a stitch, how it looks on the other side. But again, it's just blending right in. So I'm pretty happy with that solution with this stitch to have it go straight. So, okay, enjoy. Bye.